Hey, what's up, everyone? I am Mike, aka Eureka22422, and welcome to my YouTube. I will be recording a video with Doomsday content every Thursday, so like, subscribe, turn on notifications if you're interested in seeing my weekly videos so you don't miss them. I am going to dabble into different versions of Doomsday and really just go through kind of playing leagues with lists that I am playing currently or that I'm exploring. Also, there will be a link below to my Patreon. Feel free to go check that out with additional content such as sideboard maps that I keep updated, challenges, tournaments I'm playing, targeted testing towards specific matchups, and just overall information on Doomsday if you're looking to level up your game. Really excited to be extending this journey and continuing to make some awesome content. And feel free to leave comments below with any feedback you have to help me keep improving. All right, welcome back to another video. I am going to play a league with Blue-Black Tempo Doomsday stock. I played a little bit of Reanimator recently. I haven't played a ton of Magic because I was on vacation with my family, so I've been in California for the past couple of weeks, so I'm going to play a league with my stock version of Tempo Doomsday, and we'll see how it goes. So I'll see you guys in round number one. All right, we're on the draw for round number one against T-Doot. This hand's nothing to write home about, but it's got a brainstorm, some land, so we'll keep it. An underground sea mirror, okay. I'm just gonna wasteland them. It's basically a time walk. Even if they brainstorm here, it's at worst a time walk. At best, they don't have another land. There's no entomb in the format, so yeah, there's a brainstorm. Okay. We'll see if they lock themselves. And if they don't, then we'll keep playing. Honestly, we'll keep playing if they do, but obviously 2 turns of not drawing a land is going to be a lot. We'll pass back to them. Playing a straight up underground sea usually means it's not the first land, but it usually means a land light hand, so we'll see. Let's see if they have a fetch as a second land. They drew their card. They do not have lands, so 2 turns of nothing. I'm just going to play out the sewers here, seeing if we can find something like a Dark Ritual. There's the Dark Ritual. You can't make this stuff up, so they should be missing 1 more land drop unless they have a Wasteland. If they have a Wasteland, they may have just sandbagged it because they know they're not playing a land next turn, and they want us to get a Wastelandable land. But it's also possible they just have nothing. There's the Wasteland. Yeah, so that's kind of a cool read. It's not going to happen every time, but if they know they're not going to make their next land drop, then there's really no benefit of playing the Wasteland except for Force of Will through Days. And I'm going to make them Force of Will this because we can Murktide next turn. So let's just Dark Ritual Doomsday. I assume that it's going to get forced, but that's fine. Yeah, there's the force. Tainted Indulgence. So we're playing against Reanimator. Okay. So against Reanimator, let's see if they pick up a land. They don't. Okay. So now we have options. I think I'm just going to cast Murktide Regent because they're so far from doing anything with it. I'm just going to cast Murktide Regent here. There's no 1 mana removal spells for it. If they have another Force of Will, then so be it. But I think it's just the best way to use my mana and put the most pressure on them. which is the hardest thing to come back from. We still have this Thoughtseize to break up their combo. If they go land Thoughtseize us, that's a little scary, but I think it'll be fine. Let's see if they find a land. They don't. Okay. So now we can Thoughtseize them. They have a Reanimate, a Bitter Triumph, and cantrips. So I'm just going to take the Reanimate, and then I'm going to go Dark Ritual, Bowmaster. And then we'll go to attacks. And now they have 2 cantrips. They have to draw land, otherwise they have to cast a cantrip. They conceded. Okay, cool. We got game number 1 against Reanimator. Little lucky, but that's the reason you wasteland on 1. Sometimes you get a little lucky like that. All right, so against Reanimator, what do we want to do? The tough part is like the Barrogoyfs get reanimated, so I'll bring in the Dothies. I'll keep the Bowmasters in, and then I'll bring in some removal. And Murktides are fine. So the question is like, what's not good? I know we just wasteland them out of the game, but it's not really a plan. And days on the draw is pretty bad. So I'm going to try this, and then what else can I cut? We could cut the Bowmasters, but that answers their Bowmasters. Maybe it's just another Wasteland. And maybe just Lion's Eye Diamond. Let's try this. All right, back for game number 2. We have Surveil Land, a Cycler, and then the mana to cast Doomsday and also Dothy, so I'll keep it. Not ideal. I wish this Cavern was any other card, but other than that, it's fine. Let's see if we get Thoughtseized. Tamiyo. Okay. Dothy at least pressures Tamiyo a little bit. Our own Tamiyo. I don't hate that. I think I'm going to go Cavern on Wizard and play my own Tamiyo. And then pass. They might win the initial flip with Brainstorm, which is problematic, but sometimes it is what it is. We do have 2 removal spells in our deck that hit a flip Tamiyo. We can also flip Tamiyo. Let's see if they Brainstorm. Wasteland. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Are they going to Brainstorm too? They should Brainstorm first if they're going to Brainstorm. They're not. Okay. This is actually good. So I can attack. And I think I'm going to flip my Tamiyo. Let's play a land, so if they kill it in response to cycle for some random reason, we can flip it. I'm going to hold up Ritual Bowmaster. I think it's a little bit better than Ritual Clue. If they don't daze the Dark Ritual, then they have to force the Bowmaster, which is pretty cool. If they daze the Dark Ritual, it's annoying, but we can just jam Dothy next turn, so. Let's see if they cast a cantrip here. The thing about cantrips here is like Ponder into Ponder flips Tamiyo, so they're a little incentivized to do something like that. If they push our Tamiyo, whatever. Another Wasteland. I think if they Wasteland, I'll Dark Ritual out Bowmaster. This scares them to daze because I get to daze back. Not that I'm going to, but... we'll let this go. And then we'll Bowmaster here. See if they have a Brainstorm. They do. Okay. They have to force here if they have it. And if they don't have it, then I feel pretty good. Let's see what they choose to do. This flips. Bowmaster resolves, so I'm going to kill Tamio now. That's sick. Oh, I'm not killing Tamio because Brainstorm resolve first. Right, okay. They're going to have to push the Tamio, though. Oh, that flips my Tamio. Okay. I think I'll flip my own Tamio. My Bowmaster's threatening them. I might have... they already have 2 Wastelands gone. The list that I played only played 2. Most lists play 3 at most, so I probably should have played a black land. Fatal Push is interesting. I think I'll put the Fatal Push on top to hide it. And then I'll just plus. They have to Bowmaster my Bowmaster, otherwise they can't ult Tamio or push it. Good, we hid what we wanted to hide. They'll probably take the second Tamio. It's just better than Consider, I think. Especially if they don't have a Bowmaster here, which it looks like they don't. Or at least not yet. Yeah, okay. Do they have a land? They have a Surveil land, okay. Did they put Fatty second down? They did, okay. That's problematic. So I think I'm going to pick up Brainstorm. And cast it looking for Thoughtseize. We didn't find it. This Dothy's too late. We'll just pass. I think we're going to die to an Atraxa here. They can pick up Thoughtseize again. Let's see if they just have the Reanimate. They can also pick up Reanimate, so even if I force it, they can just pick it up again. It's pretty bad. I do not see us winning this one. Unless it's like Animate dead and they can't protect it and we find Force. It's like the only way we win this. I wonder if they delay to kill our Bowmasters. It would be interesting with Bowmasters. Seven, okay. It looks like they might have just Bowmaster end step into ult. Otherwise, it seems kind of weird to do this. Which means maybe another Bowmaster is enough. let's surveil. That's a good one. Let's cast Brainstorm. I have Fatal Push for their Bowmaster if they have it. I'll keep that. Then we'll ponder looking for Thoughtseize. Doomsday. I don't have a Dark Ritual, but I will next turn. I think I'm supposed to keep it. And then I have a second one that I can surveil away if it's not good. And if it is good, then I can do that. But if they just have like push plus force or Bowmaster plus force, I'm dead. Petty Theft. Okay. Well, that was a reason not to tap low, which I didn't see. Let's see if they have force still. They don't. Okay. So the plan here, if we don't get Thoughtseized, is to surveil into a blue card and then ult cycle into, or not ult, oh, okay. Well, we're dead to that. Yeah, I think we're dead to that. We'll play it out for one turn, but I think we're dead. Because I can reanimate Atraxa. Dark Ritual here would be so sick. Yeah, I'm not going to play it out. I'm just going to concede. Okay, we'll go to game number 3. That Dothy just never came down. Dark Ritual Bowmaster was maybe a little too ambitious. I'll bring my Dazes back on the play. I think everything else is fine, so what can we cut? Get rid of Consider. Maybe we get rid of Brazen Bar because we're trying to go a little faster. And maybe we get rid of Murktides because I'm not trying to win the game that way. I'll keep one Murktide in. Or I can cut another push. Maybe I'll just cut another or bring in another push. Yeah, okay. We're going to just try and Doomsday as quickly as we can right now. Let's see if it pays off. All right, back for game number 3. This hand is not great, but fine. I just have to decide whether I want to start on Surveil or land Ponder. I think I want to start on Surveil because if they Thoughtseize me, I can Wasteland them. And I think that's mostly fine with double cantrips in my hand. Like, Thoughtseize is not great against us. And they'll probably take Brainstorm, then we Wasteland them Ponder. So I think that can curb out decently. Let's just play this. That card is not a good one. We'll put it in the graveyard. Let's see if we get Wastelander to Thoughtseized. Or Tamiyoed. We have an answer to Tamiyo. Nothing. Okay. So I think I'm going to go land Brainstorm. Force is not awful, but not great. I think I'm just going to put back Lotus Petal that. I don't think that I need the Lotus Petal right now. And I'm not going to cast Ponder right now because I want to be able to force through a Daze. Let's see if they Surveil here. They didn't. Okay. Wasteland would be fine. It feels kind of like they're going to combo, though, if they don't do anything on turn 1. Yeah, I'm smelling a Tainted Indulgence here. So it's a little risky to Surveil because Daze protects Tainted Indulgence, but my hand's pretty bad, and I don't think I can afford not to. They could have a Bowmaster here, too. But, again, my hand just is pretty rough right now, so I need to get this Surveil. Long Goodbye. I'm going to bury that. I already have a removal spell. Let's see if they cast a Bowmaster here. They don't. Okay. I'm going to Wasteland them. I'll go to combat and see if they cast a Bowmaster or a Brainstorm. If they Surveil Brainstorm, then I have to consider forcing it. If they just Brainstorm, then I can let it go. It's pretty risky to cast a Brainstorm here into a Bowmaster. But also the fact that they're thinking about it makes me feel like they don't have days to protect it. So I don't believe they would have a daze in hand, or I think it's a pretty easy Brainstorm there. And we'll just cast a Ponder here. Doomsday is good. So we can pick up Tamiyo. And we can hold it for Force of Will. And then we can just jam Doomsday with Force backup. And this Force works through a daze, which I don't think they have, but they just Brainstorm, so who knows. Surveil. No fatty, please. Okay. Thoughtseize me. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. They'll take Tamiyo. And then I have to decide whether I want to hold to draw the second Doomsday and beat Daze, or whether I want to just cast Doomsday into a Force. I think casting Doomsday into a Force or a Daze is pretty unhinged. So I think I'm just going to play a land, say go. Plan to cast 2 Doomsdays in a row. And then hold up Bitter Triumph. If they take Bitter Triumph, that's actually pretty interesting. Now I think I'm going to jam with Force backup. Obviously, it could go wrong, but I think I'm going to do it. I think that now is my best window. It does tell me that they likely have a Barrowgoy for a Bowmaster, but they can't cast any of those yet, which means that I'm going to be ahead on the situation. I would prefer not a Daze. I'd prefer that they have to use a Force of Will, obviously, but we'll see. That could have been a reason to pick up one of the Doomsdays instead of Tamiyo, but that would have kept me off Force of Will, so I think this is fine. It resolves. Okay. So you can pick up Thassa, Bowmaster, Thoughtseize, a fetchable land, and Brainstorm, maybe. Thassa, Bowmaster, Brainstorm, a fetchable land, Thoughtseize. I think this is fine. It gives me some kind of latitude in how I play. So I will go Thassa, Thoughtseize, Bowmaster, Brainstorm. And so now I have access to all the rest of the cards, so I can Brainstorm, Thoughtseize next turn. And I don't know if I can Force of Will still. I think I'm going to be down 1 card to do that. Let's see if they Surveil a fatty in the graveyard. They know about Force blue card. Brainstorm here is fine. That's fine. I feel like they have a creature, otherwise they wouldn't have taken the Bitter Triumph, right? So I feel like it's likely Murktide or Barrowgoy. If they tap out for it, I feel very ahead. If they don't tap out for it, I feel a little behind. Okay, so Consign is pretty likely, and Bowmaster is also possible. Oh, I can put back Bowmaster, so I can go Thoughtseize Force. I can put back land Bowmaster, so I can go Thoughtseize have Thoughtseize Force plus Thoughtseize Oracle. It's not bad. I'd go to 8, then take 3, going to 5, then fetch down to 4, force down to 3, and Thoughtseize down to 1. I don't think I'll force a Bowmaster. I think I'll just let it go, because I can beat it. So I'll play land. I'll cast Brainstorm. See if they bite on the Bowmasters. Yeah, this puts me to 1, so I don't care about it. 8, 3 is 5, fetches 4, forces 3, Thoughtseize is 1. Yeah, puts me to 1. All right, so I can put back fetch land and Bowmaster. I'll take 3. Yep. So they have to have double consign, force blue card, or something like that. Let's see what they have. I guess removal also works. So you take the Fatal Push and then we force their force. Sick. All right, take the Fatal Push and then force their force. That was a sweet kill. It's a good good pile / good thing to watch. There's the force. We'll force back down to 1. Docile resolve and we'll win the game. All right, we are 1-0. I will see you guys in round number 2. All right, we're on the draw for round number 2. We opened 4 lands and a petal. I think we can do better. So we will take a mulligan. Sand certainly better. We'll keep. We'll put back Edge of Autumn. Street Wraith is just a better Edge of Autumn against an unknown opponent. Another blue-black deck, okay. Let's see. I think I'm just going to cast a Ponder here. If I cycle into Dark Ritual, I'm not casting it anyway, so I'm just going to cast a Ponder here. This is really awkward. I think I'm going to keep it, though, because I have a flip Tameo. I'll play out Lotus Petal. And then next turn I can flip Tameo. Wasteland's annoying, but not the end of the world. Fetching is interesting. Him. Yeah, annoying. Okay, well, they didn't hit the Brainstorm, so if they don't have a Force of Will, we're chilling, kind of. Let's name Wizard. Now they have to have Force plus removal. We can Brainstorm. Plays through days. And if they do force it, then we have Bowmaster plus Clues. Snuff out. Okay, well, that's good. I did not account for that. Thoughtseize Ponder. Okay, well, let's hide this Bowmaster. And then let's hide this. Let's put this Ponder above it. And then we can say go. This will give us a good idea of if it's even good. Wasteland. That's annoying. Yep. So they could have their own Bowmaster, but we have ours to cover that the following turn, so I think it's okay playing into it. We'll take a little extra damage, but it'll force their Bowmaster out first. If they have Kaito too, then it's a nightmare. See if we find a land and decide we want to... Ugh. Yeah, I think this might be too much. I think I'm going to Thought Seize them. Both Murktide Regent and Kaito are really problematic from this spot, so I think Thought Seizing them to find Kaito or Murktide Regent is worth it. Brazen Bar or Daze. Okay, we don't care about Daze, so we'll take the Brazen Bar. And we're drawing Bowmaster to answer their Bowmaster, but then they have to brick, and we have to draw. And we know we're drawing Force of Will, so they're very far ahead in this battle. This looks like a Kaito. Kaito on top's brutal. Yeah, we're out of here. Okay. That hand was pretty good. I mean, him snuff out into Kaito is tough. Our hand just also, like, getting him done our Doomsday was pretty bad for us. So on the play, I think I'm just going to push again for Doomsday. And then on the draw, I'll bring in all the creatures. So I'm just going to cut Murktides for some removal. And I'll cut a Wasteland for another removal spell. And I'll cut... I think that's it. I think this is fine. I just want some answers to their early threats. And I just want to try and resolve a fast Doomsday. One thing is, they don't always bring in Consign against us. So the reason that I like Doomsday better on the play is you're not getting Thought Seized on turn 1. So your Force Doomsday openers, your Thought Seized Doomsday openers, your Dazed Doomsday openers, all of them are a lot better on the draw. I'd rather just remove all the like bad cards, the counter magic, so they can Thought Seize your threat, leave you with a Force of Will or whatever, and I'd rather just jam threats into them. So we'll see how this works on the play, and if we get to a game 3, then we'll board out Doomsday and just board in all of our threats and board out our counter magic on the draw. Getting him to track on your threats, leaving you with a counter spell in your hand is just like really, really backbreaking, so... Alright, let's see what we open. This hand seems fine. It's not great, but it's got ways to find Doomsday and plenty of protection. I'm going to lead on Surveil Land. You kind of know what you're looking for, and we want to Brainstorm Fetch, so I don't need another Force. I will Daze a Thought Seize because my Brainstorm's so important, and it just Time Walks me. If they Daze back, it's pretty annoying. I will not Daze a Tameo. Yeah, I'll Daze that. Let's see if they Daze back. They don't. Okay. Doomsday's a good draw. Except now I have to like force a discard spell. Maybe. Let's see what they do here. Brainstorm's fine. It could mean they're Landlight, but forcing into a Daze is just almost never worth it. Not never, but it's really hard to convince yourself to force into a Daze. Alright, let's play a land. Let's cast Brainstorm. They can't Bowmaster here. And then we can decide whether we want to put Doomsday on top or whether we want to fire it off and find a ritual. Alright, I think I just want to put Doomsday on top. Do I? Or I could keep both Doomsdays in my hand. And then Surveil. I don't hate that. So I could go like, put back Long Goodbye, put back land, say go. Okay. I think I like this better. I can Surveil again and then look for fast mana to help beat Daze. They'll probably Surveil here. I will force a Hymn to Tarok. But this also lets me, like, let's say they him and I force, and they force, or they don't force back. This lets me jam 2 Doomsdays in a row this way. If they wasteland me, it's bad beats. It is what it is. Yeah, I'll force. Let's see if they force back. They do. Okay. Bowmaster Doomsday one time. All right, all right. We still are potentially in there. A Dark Ritual would be good. A Lotus Petal would be good. That's about the amount of draws that are, like, good from this spot. That's not good. Because even a Daze beats me here. Another Doomsday is actually a good draw. Okay, so let's just jam Doomsday. Make him have a counter spell. And then make him have another counter spell. Yeah, Thoughtseize Force Daze him is tough. Those are all the good cards, so obviously they play a lot of good cards, so it is what it is, but it lines up really well. So like a Murktide here would be almost impossible to beat. It looks like it's a Murktide. 8/8 Murktide. We go to 8 if we Doomsday, so we just can't cast it. They made it a 7/7. Interesting. Okay. Well, that means I can cast Doomsday. Okay, well, let's cast this Doomsday and see if it resolves. All right, I can't really beat anything, so I'm just going to make a Brainstorm pile here. I die to Bowmaster, I die to another Murktide, but unlikely they're going to cast it. I don't think there's anything cute I can do, so let's just make the pile that wins. And this beats anything but a counter spell it can sign or a Bowmaster. I guess it doesn't beat a discard spell. But it beats removal, so you could build this slightly different and then beat a discard spell instead of removal, but I'm not banking on them having a discard spell. They already cast the Thoughtseize into him. So we'll just hope they don't have it. No, Bowmaster actually kills us anyway because 7 plus the ping from Bowmaster is already lethal, so you can't play around that anyway. Kaito's not lethal. Okay. I mean, we're not dead, but probably dead. They could have a Fawn, too, that they just untapped for. Brainstorm. Yeah, okay. GG's. All right, we will see you in match number 3. All right, we're here against Lawlerstank. They're usually on like Oops or a like Mystic Forge deck, so I'll keep this. I could be completely wrong, but I think that's what I remember their name being of. And I'll just play out Tamiyo here. I want to get it going because if I have to force pitch Brainstorm, I want to already be rolling. I'm going to get an Underground Sea because I want triple black, and if they Wasteland me, I can still flip Brainstorm. And if they don't Wasteland me, then I can Wasteland them and still flip. So I think I just want an Underground Sea. All right, let's see what they're on. They are on an Ancient Tomb deck. All right, Lotus Petal. We can force whatever they cast, so I'll let Grim Monolith resolve. I think I let Key resolve too, although that could be a good force. That could be a good force, but I think Wastelanding's also pretty good from this spot. I don't know. Maybe I was supposed to force the Monolith. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to force Monolith there. Another Key. That's brutal. Kozilek's Command, I'm going to have to force that. But force that plus Wasteland them's pretty decent. Oh, okay, they're unearthing it. The One Ring. Okay, that's really clunky. This Wasteland does really good against that because their hand's really clunky. All right, let's attack. The unfortunate part is I do have to find a blue card, but with all these lands I've drawn, you have to hope and imagine you'll find a blue card off this Brainstorm. Yeah, double force is sick. Okay, so we'll just put back land. We're going to draw the fetch land anyway. We'll Wasteland them, and then we have double force for their stuff. And then we can cast Murktide, potentially. If we force something, we could potentially cast Murktide next turn. I don't know that we will, but we could Murktide pick up a blue card for Force of Will. Actually, we can't do that. Okay. I think I'll force another Key, will I? Did they choose Key? Oh, they're commanding for 1. Yeah, I don't care. This isn't the fight. The fight is over their big stuff now. Because I think I'm just going to try and ult. Never mind. I'm fighting over that. Okay. So now I have to decide whether I want to... I think I'm just going to draw off Clue here. See if I find a blue card. And if I do, then I'll just plus this Tamiyo. Well, I think I'm going to plus it anyway this turn. And then next turn I can decide whether I'm going to plus it or not. Okay. They have a little bit of mana. Candle's fine. Doesn't currently add mana. Oh, wait, it does. This is 2 mana because of Metalcraft. Okay. Command for 2. Karn. Yeah, I'm just going to force that. I think I just have to hope that they can't kill me here. Picking up Brainstorm seems like such a losing proposition. They do have a lot of mana, though. It could certainly go wrong. Okay, it didn't. Sick. Yeah, so like picking up Brainstorm, you have to find like Mana Doomsday. It's like just pretty unlikely to convert there. So, all right, let's bring in the Consigns. Let's bring in the Fawn. And then I don't like Murktide in this matchup because it's too slow. As weird as it sounds, I just don't find myself winning when I resolve it. And then I just want to decide whether I want Dothies to counter their One Rings. I think I do. Wastelands are very good. On the draw, Daze is a little suspect. And a basic is pretty fine to cut. You could also cut Cavernous Souls. They're not actually normally a Chalice deck, so I think I'm going to cut Cavern. Let's try this. All right, we're on the draw for game number 2. Not great, but it has some okay cards. And mulliganing is pretty tough in this matchup because they can jam multiple threats, so you typically want to be careful about how much you mulligan. They're on 5. This ponder needs to convert, though, or I need to draw like a consign or a force. If I draw a force, I will just cast Tameo. Again, Tameo recoups some cards. Okay. Candle, okay. Another Dark Ritual is like the worst possible, so let's ponder here. Thoughtseize Brainstorm Tameo is not awful. Let's keep it. We could just, excuse me, we could get 4 dropped here, but I think that we can't afford to play around that. We're not gonna. Perfect. All right, so I think that I'm going to Thoughtseize them here. They're only on 2 cards, so the chance that they have double threat is low. Dismember, okay. And then I can surveil the last Tameo into my graveyard to. I have to dodge 1 turn, but I can make this Tameo Brainstorm very good, and I just need to dodge 1 turn. They can play a 4-drop if they play the Workshop, though. Yeah, that's a good one. See what they get. A Doomsday would win here, notably. I think that I'm supposed to not play Tameo because a Brainstorm Doomsday would also win. Tormod Script's fine. That actually makes it a little better because I can find Force of Will now. Okay, so I think I am going to play Tameo because any force covers the next thing that comes out of Karn. They can't play Lattice, so I think I'm going to do this and cast Doomsday. And make them do something scary. So how do I beat a Tormod Script means Unearth is turned off. I can do a Brainstorm pile with Thassa to give myself the extra mana. That's not bad. If they play another artifact, though, they do have enough mana to Karn Lattice. I don't think that matters. I think it just is what it is. So if I do this... Oh, I need Lion's Eye Diamond. Hold on. I don't need this Consider. Because my plan here is... Oh, I can't use LED because of Karn. Right. Should have thought of that. So does Dark Ritual fetch land do it? Let's see. Dark Ritual, fetchable land, instead of Edge of Autumn, would be... I already had that. Okay, so what does this do? So Brainstorm into Dark Ritual, Cycler, Thassa, put back Tameo land, fetch, Dark Ritual, Thassa's Oracle. That works. Okay. So we can go Underground Sea, Thassa, Edge, sorry, Dark Ritual, Thassa, Edge, Brainstorm. Let's see what they get with Karn. Disruptor Flute. Okay, figured. Yep. Tameo or Thassa? Thassa, okay. Do they have a follow-up? They don't. Okay. This should mean I can clear my pile. Because I can pick up. But I can get commanded for 0. Wait, 2, 1, 2, 0, 4. Okay, so what does this look like? Brainstorm. Put back land. Tameo. Fetch. And now I can minus on... I can edge. Minus on edge. And now I can... if they command the edge to get rid of it, then I just Dark Ritual Oracle. And if they don't, then I have the ability to draw the last card when they exile Oracle. So I'll make a black. And then just go Dark Ritual. This also beats Dismember this way. Oracle. And now they have no way to beat. Command doesn't beat this. Dismember doesn't beat this. That's another good pile. Some good piles today. Yeah, that's fine. I guess command into double command. No, they can only draw one card. That's not going to be enough. Oh, command into command would deck me. Okay. So that is an out. Command into command. So command for 2 into another command would deck me. Or command for whatever into another command. So they can exile this and look at the top cards of their library to find another one. Yeah. Yeah, so no response. But now they can't deck me with it. Oh, they can. Because I have to draw to win here. Let's see if they put one on top. None on top. Okay. I have priority again. I have to cycle here. And then I die to another command. Okay. They didn't have it. Sick. Cool. Nice game. Beat a Resolve Karn, Disruptor Flute. Pretty cool. I'll see you guys in match number 4. All right, on the draw again for match number 4. This hand is about as close as it gets. Force, Dark Ritual, a Cycler. I'm going to keep it on the draw. I think that it's really close. I think if you mulligan, it makes sense. Looks like we might get paid off against Saga. Pithing Needle, I'm going to force that and pitch Murktide Regent. It's probably the name Wasteland. Nice. Yeah, if we would have got needled on that Wasteland, that would have been brutal. I will cycle this because I will Doomsday if I find it. I didn't. Okay. I'm just going to pass then. We did give up what we're on, but whatever. Or is this tower? Okay, so this is another post deck. I'm just going to Wasteland them again. And then next turn I'll cast Brainstorm. Just buys myself the most amount of time. Since I'm not playing fetch lands too. It's pretty brutal. Their mana base was super strong. Flush Striker, yeah. They have any zeros? No, okay. I'm just going to Surveil. They're not threatening yet a kill. And if I can surveil into Doomsday or use a Brainstorm next turn into Doomsday plus Pedal Doomsday, I can win. So I'm pretty incentivized to wait one turn on this. Let's see if we can find a Doomsday. Command for 0. It's fine. All right, let's see what we find now. Murktide is, it's close. I think because of Fleshraker, I'm not racing super easily, so I'm going to put that in the graveyard. It's very close, though. I think Doomsday is too good to pass up the possibility of finding here. We didn't. So we can put back Dark Ritual and Lion's Eye Diamond. And then we can pass with one more turn. And we have another kill shot lined up next turn. The thing is if they resolve a 4-drop, Murktide doesn't win the game, which is problematic. Or even another command, honestly, from this spot. Yeah. So like a 1-ring here would have just made that horrible. Yeah, that's pretty bad too. We got to win now. We're not winning if we pass the turn again. We have a couple draws at it. 4 draws at it. That's not one of them. Or 5, I guess, because of Surveil. Draw here. Brainstorm. Draw here. That's rough. That's crazy. Okay. Put back Dark Ritual. Put back land. Play this. Play Tameo to soak some damage and pray. I think we're like very high likelihood dead though. We saw like close to half our deck. A 4-drop here just kills us. We go to 3, 4, then to 2, then to 1. Yeah, we're dead. Because if I force here, 3, 2, 1, yeah, I'm just dead. Okay. Another Mystic Forge deck. This deck hasn't been popular, so pretty crazy to play it twice in the same league. Let's bring in our Fawns, our Consigns, our Dothies, and let's cut our Murktides, let's cut our Bowmasters, and then let's cut an Island, and let's cut a Daze. On the play, Daze is better. So you just cut Cavern here. Cutting a little low on lands, but I think it's fine. All right, we're on the play now, right where we want to be. Dark Ritual, Doomsday, Force of Will. Yes, please. I'm trying to think if you can do anything smart. I think that you could... maybe it's worth doing something because Disruptor Flute, so maybe it's just build a 2-turn win. Cantrip Thoughtseize is interesting. I actually kind of like that. So if I go do this, I go draw fetch land, ponder, fetch, Thoughtseize, cycle into Oracle the following turn, have Force plus Thoughtseize. Okay, yeah, that seems reasonable. Okay, so now land, Thoracle, Edge, Thoughtseize, Flooded Strand, and then pass. And now we have Force plus Thoughtseize to beat them. The reason is Disruptor Flute gets really hairy. So does Command. They both get a little hairy if you just go for a Brainstorm pile. Like, you can beat a command for 0, but the command for 0 doesn't beat Disruptor Flute, so I don't know. And they can wait till you crack your LED to Disruptor Flute you. Ancient Tomb's the scariest. Grim Monolith is fine. I think this game's going to be short enough that I can beat that. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but I think that if you're countering this, you're potentially losing to, like, yeah, just like a Disruptor Flute. So, I don't know. Because, like, the One Ring doesn't matter here. Although it stops my Thoughtseize, so I probably still would counter it. I think I'm going to counter this. And then I'll Thoughtseize them. Fetch to 3. So now I can set it up so I guess if they have double command, they have double command. Because they can command for 1 anyway. Yeah, maybe I should have not emptied my deck. Because on paper, they can only command for 1. Like, any land lets them command for 2, but that one's fine. Because that just exiles it, right? And then brings it back. Yeah, that card doesn't matter. So they have to draw a command or a flute off the top. I think command, flute are the only 2 cards that matter now. Maybe countering Flesh Striker was a little bad. I don't know. No, okay, they conceded. We'll go to game number 3. On the draw, I think I'm going to cut a Daze for something. Either a land or an answer to a Flesh Striker. Maybe it's just an answer to a Flesh Striker. I think I'm going to do this. You could consider having 2 Fatal Pushes in, but I don't know. I just really don't want a clogged up hand with Fatal Pushes. This hand has double force, but no mana. I'm going to mulligan. This hand is keepable because I'll just get rid of Dothy. Because it has Doomsday, Force of Will, and Draw Step plus Street Wraith to find a land. Like, sure, it might not work, but I think it's good enough. And if I find a land and they don't do anything, then I just get to kill them on turn 1. Key? Okay. So, land, mana source. Okay, that's not bad. That is a mana source. I was not specific enough. That's on me. Okay, we'll wasteland that. I expect an Ancient Tomb to come up because that's what makes sense since they played out Urza Saga. So Ancient Tomb as the next land makes sense, but another key is fine. I will counter a Grim Monolith now if they have it. Lotus Petal is fine. I'm just going to Dark Ritual Doomsday, hold up double Force of Will. Okay. And now I can pass 3 times with 2 Force of Wills up. Or I can go for a Brainstorm kill, but that loses the Disruptor Flute. So I think I'm just going to do the pass 3 times with double fetch Oracle. And hope that that's good enough. Cycler is not any better than just 2 fetch lands and 2 lands, so more likely to get needled. It's the reason I'm not putting Polluted Deltas in my pile. If they don't know my exact list, then they're more likely to name the wrong fetch land. I can speed this up one turn with a brainstorm. So if I don't have to force something this turn, then I can speed up one turn with a fetch land, or next turn if I don't have to force. Like if I force once now and not again next turn, then I can speed it up a turn. They got 3 mana. Two cards. They did have the Ancient Tomb. I mean, they could have drawn it, but I think it was likely that they had it. We'll force whatever they do, and then we just have to hope they don't draw a another must counter. Okay, so if they don't if they don't draw another must counter, then I can win this turn or next turn. But if they don't do anything, then I'm just gonna pass again because they could have command. Yeah, it's not worth it. I'll just draw land and say go. I will force a command. It gives them more card draw. I don't care about Candelabra. Yep. I can just force whatever they do. And then in my upkeep, I need to fetch. I don't need to fetch, but I'm going to. All right, and then we'll cast Thassa's Oracle. Cool. So we are 3-1. I will see you guys in the 5th and final match. Finally on the play. All right. Let's keep this. Koiki, isn't this the person who plays the Veteran Explorer deck? I don't know. Bowmaster goes crazy with Veteran Explorer Brainstorm, though. All right, I'm going to just play Petal and say go. All right, I think they are Veteran Explorer, Basic Force, go. All right, let's cast Brainstorm. Okay, well, we can do another Brainstorm next turn, so we can put back Undercity. Well, I guess Thoracle Undercity doesn't really matter. Then we can play out Tamiyo. We can actually use Bowmaster to shuffle our deck if we want to, if they do play a whatever it's called, Veteran Explorer. Nice. I think I'm just gonna daze this though. I think I'm ahead right now. Flipping this Tamiyo into a like anything good. Let's attack. A fetch land would let me cast Murktide Regent. They could play cards like Abrupt Decay in a Veteran Explorer deck though, so who knows if Tamiyo's safe. Another Petal also lets me cast Murktide. I think I am going to cast Murktide. I'll put back Underground Sea, Thassa's Oracle, and I'll mill Thassa's Oracle. And then I'll cast Murktide Regent. This just gives them a lot that they got to deal with. I'm not going to exile Thoracle because it's my only way to win with Doomsday. I have a land on top. They haven't shown me that they have a Cabal Therapy plus Veteran Explorer, and if they Green Sun for it, not playing through days, it's probably not in their hand. Another Green Sun into Crack. I would accept that. Let's see if they crack it now. If they have an answer to Tameo or Murktide, they might crack it now. If they don't have an answer, then they'll probably wait a turn. Okay. I can force it on them. I should have done it in my upkeep, maybe. I'm going to attack. And then I'm going to hope that shuffling, getting lands lets me like clue into a Force of Will. Or a Brainstorm Force of Will or something. So let's pass. Let's see if they crack it end step or crack it on their turn. It makes a mana, so they probably won't crack it on it. Well, I guess they get an extra colorless if they crack it on my turn. Okay. I'm just going to let it go. They do have a lot of mana. I'm going to search. I think I'm going to clue here. And I think I'll brainstorm here too. I'm not sure if I'd force that. Probably not. But it does give me a lot of information. Okay. So we can put another Murktide Regent on top. And then we can cycle an Earth end step. This Daze might still be good. Their deck spends a lot of mana. Let's see if they just kill this. Pretty likely, I think. Yeah, this is not the matchup to be slow grindy in. This is the matchup to cast Dark Ritual Doomsday. Shield Rid. I guess we'll cycle Unearth here. We'll let that go. We have blockers. Okay. So I can cast Murktide. And this ultimate on Tameo is dead because I have no removal in the main. So the question of whether I want to pick up a card is the real question. I could cast Tameo, Daze it. I actually like this. So I'm going to cast Tameo, hold priority, Daze it. And then now I'll have 4 cards in my graveyard. 5, 6, 7. I'm not going to pay. And then I can go... And then I have a blocker for Shieldred in Bowmasters. And I'm just going to plus this Tameo. I could be dead here. I really don't know what their deck play is, but this puts them dead to one of these 2 Murktide Regents. So they're dead to a single Murktide Regent. Oh, no, they're not, because they're going to gain 2 life. Yeah, because of Bowmaster, they are dead. Because they go to 7, then Bowmaster puts them to 6, and they're dead to one of these Murktide Regents if they don't draw any more cards. I think I'll just take the hit from Shieldred if they have it, if they attack, because in case something funky happens, it's going to give me the ability to attack with Bowmasters too. And if they attack, Tameo, whatever. I'm not ulting it anyway. They can bring back Veteran Explorer, but that's not really mana positive, right? Like, it costs 3 mana to bring it back, and it gets them 2. Okay. Yep, that's an answer to one of them. Let's see if they have an answer to another one. That's a sorcery, instant creature sorcery, so they're 1 type short of copying something in the graveyard. Let's see if they have an answer to the second one. That would be pretty brutal. I don't know what this card does. It enters with 6 counters on it. It escapes with 12. If damage would be dealt to it. Okay. So they're just saying that they're not dead to this 6/6, but they are. Because of the Bowmaster. So this is going to be lethal now. All right, cool. Got game number 1. Let's try and go a little bit faster. Letting them have 8 mana is not the way that you want to play against this deck. All right, so what do we want against them? Removal's not super interesting. Maybe Force Negation for Cabal Therapy is okay. Consign to Memory doesn't seem horrible. It stops the trigger. I don't know if that's good or not. Dothy, they got a lot of big stuff in their deck, so maybe Dothy's good. Bowmaster seems bad. Murktide won that game. Not sure it's good. Wasteland I don't think's good, so maybe I can cut a couple Wastelands. And on the draw days seems pretty awful against that deck. I don't know. Let's just try and open a fast Doomsday. You can probably cut Cavernous as well. You don't want to cut basics because you can get 2 basics off their Veteran Explorer. So I think you just want to leave your 2 basics in the deck. I mean, this hand seems fine. If I can find a Doomsday off draw step or Brainstorm or Ponder. The big question is if I have to force something, what do I pitch? Okay, so fetch land. We'll fetch a non-basic. Again, Veteran Explorer gets us basic, so we're going to leave those in the deck. Let's cast Ponder. Brainstorm's interesting to keep, but I think we can do better. That is not technically better, but we'll pass the turn. All right. Let's see what they do. They could go like Therapy into Explorer. They don't. Could have Bowmaster. I'm going to cast Brainstorm. I'll force a Bowmaster. They don't have it. Put back land, play fetch. I think I will play Tameo here. My hand doesn't do a whole lot, so I want to start drawing clues. I have plenty of mana, and I have 1 Force of Will for something scary. Abrupt Decay sucks. Everything else is pretty much fine. Pernicious Deed. I think it's fine. I think I'm just going to take my extra card off this Tameo and be happy with it. I am just going to draw real quick. Now we can Surveil. Now they have to decide whether they want to blow the deed for 1 or whether they want to give us another clue. So, it's not bad. Making him use a mana to blow the deed is fine. Again, we're not going fast enough this game, but say la vie. Okay, no land drop. That's good. What is in their hand? I'm terrified. We'll probably crack it right here. No? Let's see. Unearth is fine, because it's a cycle that if they blow the deed here, lets me reanimate it. And if they don't, then they're going to blow it here. Okay, and then I can just reanimate it. I have plenty of mana, so I'm just going to not play this Cavern of Souls If I find a brainstorm, I want to be able to brainstorm the cavern back in the deck. 4 mana. I will force a Shieldred or something like that. Yeah, they're stuck on lands. I'm going to force this. And I have Dark Ritual, Force of Will next turn. I have to just decide whether I want to draw off Clue. I think I will. And then I'll decide whether I play Cavern or Double Petal. I think it's just Cavern. All right, and then we'll pass. So now we can Dark Ritual Force. And then we have the way to win if we find Doomsday. We can win same turn. All right, let's see if they have an answer to this. They're not cracking Peatlands, so they definitely have stuff in their hand. It's just like, what is it? I will Fawn something good, I think. Huh. Okay. I'll force that. I maybe should have thought about playing Petal. Because now I can't force plus Fawn. And now I just have to play Petal and hold up Fawn. And then I can threaten a flip next turn. They're not cracking Peatlands, so they have stuff to use with their mana. Maybe it's another Endurance. Shieldred's tough. Yeah, I think we're likely dead from here, but we'll see. Let's go to attacks. If they have another Endurance, I'm definitely dead. If they don't, then maybe I can build a pile that beats Shieldred. Let's draw a card and find out. Okay, so we go to 12. Dark Ritual Doomsday down to 6. I think we can beat that. We can't beat an Endurance, but I think we can beat a... we can just beat nothing, right? Because we go to 6, so we can draw 2 cards. So Consider plus Oracle, and then the other cards just don't matter because I can't do anything with them. I guess I can fetch Surveil, so I can clear my pile, right? So if I do this, this. Okay, so if I build this, another random card. So I go down to... Okay, so I go down to 6. Then I cycle into Consider. I go down to 4. I Consider Mill Street Wraith, draw Thassa. I go to 2, and then fetch Undercity Sewers, go to 1, Mill Island. Okay, so it beats anything but an Endurance. It beats a removal spell. It's going to have to be good enough. Island, Undercity Sewers, Thassa, Street Wraith, Consider. Play fetch land. Cycle this, crack this for blue. And I can let them commit the removal. If they have Endurance, they're just going to kill me here, but I can commit the removal spell. I can wait till they commit the removal spell if they do have it. I'll take my 2. Guess I'll plus Tameo. Doesn't really matter. Consider. Mill Street Wraith. No response to that. And here's Thassa's Oracle. Let's see if they have it. They don't. We win the game. Cool. Not a bad 4-1.